Alright, so here's the lymphatic system chapter. In this chapter, we will learn about the lymphatic organs and all. Okay, so first we're starting with the lymphatic system. Lymphatic system here is composed of a lot of vessels, lymph vessels, which then connect to the lymph nodes. So what the lymphatic system does is that it takes the excess fluid that is around our cells, around the capillaries. This fluid outside of our cells is called the interstitial fluid. This region is called the interstitial space. And so the lymphatic system takes that extra fluid. And also, this fluid may have some pathogens that are kind of swimming inside there. And so the lymphatic system is also taking those pathogens away from our cells. And then the pathogens then go to the lymph nodes. We will learn about the lacteals in the digestive system chapter. So we have these special vessels in the digestive tract, and they absorb fat from the digestive tract instead, and then they send it to the body. This here at the bottom, we will see this again, putting a star here. We need to know the order of the lymphatic flow. So first the capillaries take the fluid, then they turn into the lymphatic vessels. The lymphatic vessels connect to the lymph nodes, which then connect to these larger vessels, then trunks, ducts, and the subclavian veins. And the subclavian veins then drain into the heart, as we already learned. Alright, so here we're seeing the lymphatic capillaries. So they are around our normal blood capillaries, around our cells. So there is that fluid around our cells. And so these capillaries are just sucking it up. They almost act as straws. They get that extra fluid out, and along with that extra fluid, there might be some pathogens in here. The tissue that is inside the capillaries, what is actually being absorbed, is called the lymph. Okay, so here I'm going to write down lymph is just the fluid inside. So the capillaries turn into the lymphatic vessels, and the vessels are kind of running along with the blood vessels. Lymphatic capillaries, just like our blood capillaries, they're made up of the simple squamous tissue. Just one layer of wall. Right, so then this is just showing where the lymphatic vessels are, the lymphatic trunks, and then the collecting ducts. We will learn the locations of some of these in lab, so I will get you some pictures on these. So then here are some more pictures from our book showing where these lymphatic ducts are, showing the thoracic duct on the left side. Then on the right picture, it shows how after a cancer surgery, so after the breast is removed, mastectomy, because as a result, the lymphatic vessels are also removed during the surgery, this can lead to edema. So because you have removed those capillaries, there's nothing to remove that extra fluid. So then that fluid just ends up staying there. Right, so this is what we saw in that first slide. Know the order of the flow. So the tissue fluid, again, the fluid that is around our cells, around our capillaries, outside, it's about the same composition of blood plasma. It has water, nutrients, but it does not contain proteins. Proteins are too big to leave the capillaries, but that's a good thing. You want them to stay inside the capillaries, so it says here plasma proteins remain in the blood plasma to maintain osmotic pressure. What this refers to is that the proteins attract water into the blood capillaries. So you want them to stay in there. If those proteins are not in your blood capillaries, then the water is not going to go back into your blood capillaries. So here the tissue fluid is blood plasma minus proteins. The lymph flow inside the lymphatic vessels, it's very, very similar to how it goes in the veins. So it's very slow lymph flow inside. But here are the main mechanisms that the lymph is able to move. Contraction of skeletal muscles around our lymphatic vessels helps to squeeze the vessels to move the fluid. Respiratory process is another one. So the diaphragm, when it moves, contracts, it helps to push the lymphatic vessels, squeeze them. There's also smooth muscle in the larger lymphatic vessels, in the walls. And so when the smooth muscle contracts, it aids in the dispersal of the lymph. And there are also valves inside the lymphatic vessels to prevent the backflow.